Hi there, business owner. Do you want a better understanding of business finance, what your numbers actually mean, and stories of the highs and lows of business, where I'll be sharing my tips and tricks every week? Then you're in the right place. Welcome to the 3Bs podcast with Stephanie. Hello, welcome back to another episode. This is episode 6 of the 3Bs podcast with Stephanie. I'm Stephanie, and thank you so much for listening in. It's become apparent to me that over the last few episodes, the questions and feedback I've had from you guys who are listening is that you'd like to know more about the systems and processes and softwares that I use and the tools that my clients use in their businesses to help them be more efficient, save time, and save money. So over the next few episodes, I'm going to go into more detail about the systems, processes and softwares I use and my clients use and what I recommend for different business types. I'm going to start off with bookkeeping and accounting softwares, as that is my speciality, and then we're going to go into payment solutions, CRM softwares and much more systems and processes that can help you be more efficient in your business. So let's get on with it. Before these cloud software solutions were available, people used to keep their records either in ledger books with pen and paper, or once the internet and the computers became more of a thing, then it was kept on an Excel spreadsheet. Now, as I've said before, I was known as, and still am known as, a spreadsheet queen. I love a spreadsheet. I think they're brilliant. I find them really useful and helpful. But when you're running a business, using software can be much more beneficial for you. Not only does it save time on the admin of manually writing down every in and out and transferring them across the journals if you're using a double entry bookkeeping method, it also gives you real-time information, which you will hear me go on and on about because it's so important that you have a clear picture of your business, of where it is and where it's going. Because this gives you a clear picture and overview of your business, which means you can make more informed business decisions, which can make the business more profitable in the long run. Following on from that, you can also run reports whenever needed. I have a client who sells franchises and will sometimes need to run off a profit and loss or a balance sheet at short notice. So having that functionality and not having to wait for your bookkeeper or accountant to do that for you is obviously very beneficial when using software. It also saves money on your accountancy fees at your end of year because they don't need to go through every single transaction for you. They will check your work if you don't have a bookkeeper that does it for you. Day in, day out, but the end of year fees will be less if the information is already there on software for them to pull off. And finally, if you are VAT registered, it is a legal requirement that your VAT returns are now submitted through software using Making Tax Digital. Therefore, if you have a spreadsheet, you would need to find either bridging software or have to set it up twice and do it again on software, which is obviously not very efficient. So, I'm going to start with Sage, and that's because, although it's not the preferred software used in my practice, it is the software I started training with all those years ago. Sage used to be a desktop software, so it wasn't cloud-based, it wasn't internet-based like they are now. It was a program on your desktop that you could use, and you could put your information in daily. It was very manual, it was very laborious, and cloud software is a much better option. Sage do now have cloud options. They also have payroll, HR and accountancy add-ons. So you can choose which software you would like to use based on the different levels. There is 3 different tiers for the main pricing of the accounting package, and then the payroll and HR added on at an extra cost, which is the same across all the softwares. But the main Sage software has the direct bank feeds, which is where it links with your bank account and draws down all your transactions overnight. So you're matching up transactions and reconciling the accounts that way rather than manually entering. And that reduces, obviously, some of the human error of putting transactions in twice. The next accounting software I'm going to discuss is QuickBooks. It used to be desktop like Sage. It is now online only and cloud-based solution, which is great because you can access them wherever you are. Working from home, hybrid working remotely, it's all much more possible using cloud-based software. I am an advanced certified pro advisor for QuickBooks Online, which is an exam you resit every year. It just gives you a bit of knowledge to know that bookkeeper or accountant you're dealing with, or the person that advises you which software to choose, is fully trained and is compliant with that software. QuickBooks, much like Sage, has payroll add-ins, and it will link to some other external softwares, receipt capture tools, for example, different payment solutions. They have different tiers for pricing based on whether you're a sole trader or a limited company. There's 2 different levels if you're a sole trader and 4 different levels if you're a limited company. The third software I'm going to cover is Free Agent, and that's because it's great for small or new businesses. If you bank with NatWest, Royal Bank of Scotland, Ulster Bank NI, and have a business current account with them, or if you have a business account with Metal, this software is actually free as part of your business banking. So it's really good if you're just starting out. It's really great if you're a new, relatively small business or are conscious of your expenses. Now, it does mean there are some limitations to the software. It's not one I use regularly, so you would be better off looking for they call them co-pilot accountants, so somebody who is much more well-versed in Free Agent if that is your software of choice. But it does have the direct bank feeds, just like the other accounting softwares. It has VAT filing capabilities, self-assessment capabilities, payroll capabilities. It is fully supported for HMRC submissions, for the RTI submissions. It is a great little software. The feedback I do hear from it is a great little software. It's not one I'm well versed in, but it is an option, especially if you bank with NatWest, Royal Bank of Scotland, Ulster Bank NI with a business current account, or with Metal if you have a business account. And the final software I'm going to cover is Xero. It is my personal favourite bookkeeping and accounting software. It's a software we use predominantly in our practice, ABCS UK. We do have a couple of clients that use QuickBooks, but Xero is obviously our software of choice. We are, as a practice, bronze champion partners. Now, that means we've been a bronze partner for more than a year, so we get the champion status. And in order to do that, we do need to recertify every year, and all the staff members in the practice have to recertify too. At present, it's just myself, so I am a Xero Advisor certified, and I'm also a Xero Payroll certified for the payroll add-on that Xero has. Now, Xero has bank feeds the same as all the other accounting softwares. It means that overnight it draws down all your transactions. So it links into your bank and will draw down the day before's transactions, which just makes it easier, and it's one less thing to do. It's more efficient, it's more automatic, but like I say, all the softwares have that capability. There's 4 different tiers, of subscriptions for Xero. It doesn't matter whether you're a sole trader or a limited company, the prices don't change. But what I really love about Xero is that it has an app store. So it has its own app store. It has hundreds of apps it can connect to that are external from Xero. It just means that if you want purchase order solutions, if you use a till system, so if you're a shop or a restaurant or a pub, you have a point of sale or a POS system, that can link in automatically via an app into Xero. Again, reduces the risk of human error, of duplicate transactions. It makes everything quicker, easier and more seamless, more efficient. There's HR solutions and external payroll solutions if you don't want to use Xero's own payroll add-on. It really is the most user-friendly. I find it the most user-friendly for the clients as well as myself. It's my favourite accounting software. They also have their own add-ons. So you have projects, which is great for project management. They have their own payroll. CIS if you're in the construction industry. They have Analytics Plus add-on, which means if you want more in-depth data, cash flow forecasts, etc., analytics, we can drill down much further into those. It does have some analytics as standard, but it has the Plus feature, which you can pay for an extra add-on as well. And the Pay with Wise feature. So if you want to pay lots of multiple bills at once, it's really great. A good example of this is if your bookkeeper is processing your payroll, they can process the payroll, send it for you for confirmation, and then use Pay with Wise to put all the employees' payments onto one batch payment and send it to you for authorization. So you will authorize the payment and all of the payments will be made at once out to your staff, rather than what I know a lot of small businesses do is pay each staff member manually, which is time consuming and not efficient for the business. Oh, and one other thing about some of the apps from the Xero App Store. For online retail sellers, so people that have Shopify, Etsy, sell on Amazon, for example, there are apps that link with the transactions, which I think is really helpful. It also links with payment providers, which I'm going to cover in a later episode, time tracking, so timesheets, taking out the manual analysis and time tracking for your staff members or for jobs, how long you're taking on jobs, for example. It also even links in with your email marketing systems. It can link in with booking systems. You can really automate and make things really efficient by using the different apps and connecting them all to Xero, so everything all has one main point. Anyway, that's enough. I could go on and on about Xero. As you can tell, it really is my favourite software. But it's not the best software for every business. And that's why there is a market of different softwares, all equally have their raving fans and all equally have people that don't like particular softwares. There is a range, and I wanted to cover maybe the three most popular and one of the lesser well-known ones, so you have a real mix and understanding of the different types of software and bookkeeping accounting software that is out there. Now, the cost alone should not be a factor when choosing bookkeeping and accountancy softwares, but I know it's really important. So as of today, when this episode goes out, I will actually be in London at Accountex speaking to all of these software providers and getting to know all the latest and upcoming add-ons and tweaks and changes to the accounting and bookkeeping software industry and the industry as a whole, which I'm really excited about and I will tell you all about in a future episode. But I wanted to cover the costs for you. So Sage has 3 different tiers. The first is £12 plus VAT, which is £14.40. The second tier is £26 plus the VAT is £31.20. And the highest tier is £33 plus VAT, which is £39.60 a month. The second software I covered was QuickBooks, and that has different tiers depending on whether you're a sole trader or a limited company. So if you're a sole trader and you are not VAT registered, it is £10 a month plus VAT, which is £12. If you're a sole trader and you are a VAT registered company, then it's £14 plus VAT, which is £16.80. Then if you're a limited company, the first tier of the 4 is £14 plus VAT, which is £16.80, the same as the VAT registered sole trader amount. The second tier for the limited company is £24 plus VAT, which is £28.80. The third tier is £34 plus VAT, which is £40.80. And the fourth tier is £70 plus VAT, which is £84. Now, I should mention that these tiers are based on different features and functionalities. Most businesses will need maybe the bottom tier or the second tier, especially to start with. Things that influence this is the amount of users you need to access the software, how many bank accounts you hold, how many employees you have. If you're using a payroll, that will affect the price. Whether you use foreign currency, so if you deal with international suppliers, so if you deal in dollars quite a lot or euros, then sometimes you need the higher plan that has more functionality. But it varies, so it is worth looking into or speaking to someone. You can always drop me a message and I can advise accordingly based on your needs. That's not a problem. But yeah. Thirdly is free agent. As I said, if you bank with NatWest, Royal Bank of Scotland or Ulster Bank NI with a business current account or Metal with a business account, then any of these pricing plans are completely free. So it doesn't matter if you're a sole trader, partnership or a limited company. If you are bank with any of those and have those business accounts, then it is free for you. Now, if you're a sole trader, it's £19 a month plus VAT, which is £22.80. Or if you want to pay annually, they have an annual option, which is £190 plus VAT, which is £228 a year. If you're a partnership, it's the only software that has a different pricing point for partnerships. So that is if you have between 2 and 30 partners. It's similar to a sole trader, but you have between 2 and 30 partners in that partnership. Then it's £24 a month plus VAT, which is £28.80, or annually £240 plus VAT, which is £288. And if you're a limited company with free agent and you don't bank with any of those banks, it's £29 a month, which is £34.80, or £290 a year with the VAT is £348. And then finally, Zero have 4 different price points, and they start at £14 plus VAT, which is £16.80, £28 plus VAT, which is £33.60, £36 plus VAT, which is the £43.20, and the highest tier is £58.80 with the VAT, which is £49 plus VAT. Well, that was a lot of information, and I'm actually over 15 minutes already, so I'm not going to keep you any longer. Thank you so much for listening, as always. Next week, I will share with you different payment solutions and payment providers and what is better for which business and why. If you need to get in touch, it's ABCS UK on all social medias, or you can drop me an email at info@abcsuk.co.uk. Have a wonderful week. And that brings us to the end of another week of the 3Bs podcast with Stephanie. Thank you so much for listening. I'd really appreciate it if you could like, subscribe, rate and review this podcast wherever you are listening to it, so that I can reach more business owners and help them build better businesses. See you next week for the next episode.